Good morning. Good morning. You can see me. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, TikTok. Happy full moon to everyone. And we're going to have a lunar eclipse at 6 p.m. today. So, lunar eclipse is on Pisces and Virgo line. I hope you're prepared and keep your emotions under control because it is an emotional time. But I'm sure you can. It will be fine. Anyways, today I wanted to talk about what types of women that man will not choose to be in a long-term relationship with. Now, before I will start, I want to tell you I do love men and men love me, but I will always be loyal to women. So I'm in the same boat with you. And with the types of women that I tell you today, you will be surprised. So, as you know, I'm a Reiki master, so I'm going to be talking energetically. What is it that the man avoid? What is the man that man try to escape? Now, last time we spoke about how to keep your man masculine, how to be so you will be surrounded by masculine men only, hopefully. And but masculine men, they know what they like and they know what they want, so they are not they would not tolerate a lot of things, and this is good. I mean, this is what keeps women feminine. When a man is strong and kind of a leader, provider, you kind of you watch yourself, you choose your words, you choose your actions. Now, a not provider man, a feminine man, will tolerate a lot of things. Honestly, doesn't mean that it will make him happy, but he will make your life miserable. But he will tolerate a lot of things. So if you want somebody, just tolerate any kind of disrespect that you give him. I mean, this is a feminine man. With the masculine man, though, you need to be careful. And today I will tell you what masculine men don't like in the relationship, at least. So they might date you, they might sleep with you, but this is if you want to have a masculine man for a long term. And some of these mistakes I did also, so it's not like it's not like we never do that. Sometimes we do them unknowingly. All right, so let's start. Let me open my notes and we will start. So um, this is what I wanted to mention before I will start. If you think that all men like is just somebody who's beautiful, sexy, or who is just amazing cook, amazing housewife, it's not true. This is not what men love. All my friends were always so surprised because I really don't cook. I mean, I'm not really a housewife type kind of thing. But the men, they do. They always wanted to live with me. They always wanted to be in my life. So what I want to say, if you think that to be a perfect, and I have friends who are actually perfect housewives who love to cook, and I love to hang out with them because they always have something delicious, and I mean they always so grounded and everything. They're perfect wives, but sometimes their own kind of perfections are on the way to a happy relationship. All right, so let's start. So the cooking, the being sexy, being absolutely available to a man is not really a goal for the for a happy relationship, and this is not what masculine men are looking for. And let's start. So the first type of woman that a man will not marry, will not be in a long term with, is the woman who makes a relationship a constant test. So it's like everything you do, it's always weighing on: is it good enough or is it not? Is it enough or not enough? Like this. So you feel like you're not a man in the relationship, but more like a student, and not even that good of a student. And you probably know that these are women who are very particular about themselves, who are very like who demand a lot on themselves and demand a lot from everybody else in their surroundings. So these are women. They are hard to live with. I used to have a friend like this. I mean, this is impossible. It's like she's very hard on herself, very hard on everybody, very hard on any kind of situation. And why is she single? Maybe because man could not tolerate it. It's like it's never enough. I remember she even took one of her boyfriends at that time shopping because what he was wearing was not good enough, and he was changing until one time she took him as a mom to a mall and bought him the clothes that she wanted him to wear. So it's you think that. And often a man will be like, okay, sure, he will try to kind of to please him, especially if a man loves loves you, but he will there will be a point of no return when he will say enough is enough and will be just done with you. And I thankfully I'm not a person like this, maybe because I don't have like such a like I'm nice to myself, so I'm nice to others as well. I have demands on myself, but I mean I don't really like beat myself up if I don't do something. So, but I know women who are like this. I actually knew a couple who were like this, and they did got divorced eventually. So, but this is it's like this. When a relationship is not really a relationship, it's about a man trying to prove that he's worthy of that woman. So he's trying to prove that he's even capable of being a man for that woman. And I'm not talking about buying presents. Yes, as I told you last time, it's important to keep a man challenged, but as long as he's capable of those challenges, as long as he understands that at least sometimes he's doing something right. So anyways, but this is the type of woman that men do avoid, and they can stay together, but they will always look for something for they might stay with this woman as a challenge, let me prove that I'm good enough. And actually I had a client who was with the guy. She didn't exactly like him, but he liked her at the beginning. He saw her Instagram, he really liked her, so he wanted to impress her. And she was working with me, so I basically was helping her out, but she didn't like the guy to start with, so she was giving him hard time. Really, she was giving hard time. He was buying her presents, he was flying her out, he was doing a lot of things, but she was like, yeah, like it was never ending. So he was like, she she was constantly hungry for something, always kind of testing whether he will do more or he will not do more. And he was doing and doing. I guess the guy was a little with money. And at one point she kind of relaxed and started feeling comfortable, so she assumed that it was finally, he proved himself, so she can relax and be. And the man left her. So he basically stopped talking to her because of this, because he couldn't. It was a challenge for him. He wanted to prove to himself and to her that he can do that he can win her over. And once he did, he was out of her life. And I mean, this is it was so shocking even to me, because usually men who invest in women, they usually don't. But I guess for him it was kind of a game also. So it's just like you know the limits of how far you can push your man, how far you can test him. If you and usually it all happens from the same reasoning. A woman is just not too much into her man, and so she allows herself this kind of behavior. But anyways, most of the time it's because a woman is not satisfied with her own life. She's not satisfied with with how her life is. You see, that client of mine also had issues. So I'm not going to go into, for obvious reasons, but a woman like this is usually have issues with herself and her life, and that's why she's given hard time to her man. And she's basically dragging him into her swamp of insecurities and make him like play her tune and basically jump around her to prove that he's okay and that he can make her life better. That man will never stay with a woman like this for too long, unless he's feminine and weak. Then he will continue being a failing student for years and years, and that's it. And he will just be a failure again and again. He will just prove her that he's a failure, and she will just continue beating him up for that. So this is the first one. A man will never be with a woman who treats the relationship as a constant exam, as a constant test. So this is something that the man will not know. Masculine man will tolerate. I had masculine men, I had feminine men, and I will tell you, masculine men, they're very resilient. They are very challenges driven. But once they had enough, and they are not desperate to stay around. I mean, they are very freedom. They love their freedom, so they will move on very fast. Now, a feminine man will stay, obviously. All right, so the second type of woman that man will not marry, will not be in a long relationship. So I put a man will not marry, but this is not. Um, Thank you, TikTok. I put here that a man will not marry in my subject, but I didn't mean this. I meant stay in a long-term relationship, not necessarily marry. I mean, in some cultures, a man will have to marry, but for the most part, it's a long-term relationship. So the second type of woman that a man will not be with is the woman that makes a man weak. Now, I spoke last time about this, so it's always good to look into strengths of man and everybody else around you. I mean, but especially with men, and I'm talking, and I can tell from my clients what do they see in man by what they think about their brothers, male colleagues, their fathers. You can see at once whether a woman looks for strengths or looks for weaknesses. You see, men, they're very ego driven. They need to have this kind of reassurance that they're strong, that they're masculine, and they need people around them who see their strengths. You see, you can't a man could not develop if you only see his weaknesses. He will start doubting himself. All right, so and how does a woman makes a man weak? I mean, obviously by seeing his weaknesses, and not only that. I mean, usually how does it come off? So you don't even need to tell him nothing. We socialize energetically, so a man will feel, when she will look at him with this kind of eyes, like, oh, I knew it, or again, it just, or when she's given instead of believing that he can kind of solve the issue, she start telling him how he needs to act or what he needs to do, and if he doesn't, then she's like, I told you so. So something like this, when she acts like a mother. In both cases, you see a woman acts as a mother, and no man wants to be a forever son or forever student or forever any of that. So this is a woman that makes him weak. A man like this, a feminine man, will stay next to this woman because, I mean, who wouldn't? If she can do everything herself, she's just such a boss lady. Why not to why not to basically stay with her? But a masculine man will not stay, will not be. So how you should act not to be that woman? You should again see his strengths, and then acknowledge things that he does, acknowledge those if there is obviously something to acknowledge. But if you already chose this man, if you decided to be with him, then focus on what he's doing good, not what he's constantly doing wrong. So maybe he's making a particular sum of money, and he's not exactly a billionaire yet, but you chose him. You knew that he's making this much of money. So maybe appreciate him for providing for you. Maybe you're not living in a mansion right now, but you are living in a good apartment, and he's providing for you. Again, you chose him. You knew his standards. You knew his capabilities. So, and maybe also, I don't say that you shouldn't be telling a man what you expect. More like acknowledge it when he does something. So, not for little things, but for like you have it in you even to appreciate. I was watching some old movie the other day, and there was a woman, and she was writing, so she had some kind of shock, and she wrote to her husband. She's like, you know what, I'm just thinking I'm so grateful that you do for us, that we have 3 kids, and you're doing like you're traveling, you're working, you're providing for us, and I only can imagine how hard it is for you, how like to have such a huge responsibility and this and that. And that letter really moved me, because that's a woman who appreciates. Doesn't mean, you see, instead of doubting him, and the reason why she wrote to him, because he started his own business, and she was kind of skeptical about this, and he was kind of skeptical, but yet he went through with that. But you see, instead of her doubting and not letting him and criticizing him for doing something so risky, she actually appreciated and gave him power to move forward for her and their children. But again, a masculine man especially, will never be around anybody who makes him weak, not especially his woman. Remember, a man is very he needs validation. If his woman does not believe in him, I mean, he would not stay. And I even had friends, male friends, who every time I would be like doubting them, they would distance themselves from me. Again, I was not a girlfriend or anybody. I was just an acquaintance. And I remember a guy. He started his own business, but my previous career was in finances, so I knew the career, the business was very um, like doubtful. So, and I told him that. I told him, I said, "You look, I will be honest with you. I don't think this is any good." So the guy didn't speak to me for like 3 months because he didn't need this kind of doubts, this kind of this negative energy when he wanted to believe into something big and something, some approach. So, anyways, that business did not work out, but he came up through that business. He started a different business that became successful. And then when he became somewhat successful, semi-successful, he actually he texted me and we went to dinner. And he's like, you know what, you were right. He admitted it, but you see, he didn't. He admitted it already when he was somewhat successful. I know it was hard for him. And again, I was not even his woman. I was just a friend, an acquaintance, nobody like that. So a woman. The, with the woman like this, a man always feels like he's surviving, surviving just enough. Like he's not a permanent kind of a placement in her life. If if she would realize that she's strong enough to be on her own, she basically will just push him out completely. So, anyways, this is the type of woman that a man will not choose to stay for long term. Look, I wouldn't choose somebody who's doubting me to be next to me, like me, a woman. So I only imagine how it is for men. You need to have everybody wants to have positive people, and everybody wants to to have people who believe in them, especially when it comes to men and women. So this is the second type. The man will not choose to be long term. The third type is a woman who, oh my god, I knew a couple of these ones, and I think I was one woman like this for some time myself. So a woman who lives constantly complaining. And if you think man cheat because they like somebody more, because somebody is more beautiful, or somebody is more have a better figure, or whatever else, you might be mistaken. Men often cheat because of this kind of. And I think that was my case. The couple of times that I was cheated on, it was because of that. So because a woman who lives to complain, whose whole life is basically complaining, is becoming very heavy. She becomes very heavy on herself, not only on the man. The first time a guy cheated on me, and we've been for a while together. I mean, I would have cheated on me if I could, but unfortunately, I could not escape myself. So, but my life was miserable at that time. I was complaining about everything. Nothing was a happiness. I was looking forward to the weekend, and then if the weekend didn't go according to my plan, to my imagination, to my perception, I would just start. I mean, I felt like the whole week was just wasteful, and I was not sure what to do with myself next. And because I couldn't blame myself, I was blaming the guy next to me, and trust me, it was heavy. So this how does it sound? It's basically when a woman compares her man, when she's like, like, this guy, he's doing this and you couldn't do that, or when she's like, again you went out with your friends, or when are you going to be this or that, or when are you going to start working out, or when are you going to do this, and it's constant, like again and again, and repeating yourself. And I said, I was the same. Why? Because I had a particular perception of how I wanted the relationship to be, and when it was not meeting my expectations, I was blaming the man. Now I see this. I see it even now. So maybe it's somewhere in me still, till now. But I see it in women, in my friends, in even a couple of my clients. I see that, and I see how they basically, how they don't see nothing but look. When my clients, so they, I'm obviously getting something from them when they complain, nonstop, complain, without any kind of uh, uh, solutions, any kind of decisions. Okay, I'm going to kind of to fix this all. It's even draining on me. I'm like, is she going to stop or not? But that's me. I'm the mentor, so I am kind of I'm designed for that. I'm designed to sit there and listen and help them and get through that swamp by themselves. But they do it not only to me. Sometimes they do it to their friends, to their men, and then they're surprised why their men are not don't want to go out with them, don't want to spend time with them because of this heaviness that they bring in. And no matter how what they do, it's always not like not enough. It's always some kind of complain. It's always the flowers were not fresh enough, their lunch was not fast enough, and like this. So a man, basically, he is not breathing with the air at that time. He's breathing with some kind of like this constant nagging, and he would, even though masculine men, they don't really get like offended very very fast, but they do start to get offended because of that, because he's basically, it's like it's nothing that makes his woman happy, and because she's not happy, she's making his life miserable. And you will say, well, maybe he's not doing enough to make you happy. True, could be, absolutely. But from what I saw, then she should just leave him, leave him and get a man that will make you happy. From what I saw, though, usually these women are very unhappy with themselves. So it's not like in the first point where a woman is just very demanding on everybody around her and herself. In this case, a woman is just miserable with herself and everybody around. And I was even in our building. There was a couple, and I remember they were sitting in the pool, and she just couldn't stop. I wish they would speak in Spanish or something, so I couldn't understand. But she just spoke in English, and it was just non-stop, like complaining for like 40 minutes until I had it enough. I just basically got up and I left and I went and sat in a different corner. But her man was sitting there and listening to all this. He never, I mean, a couple times he said something, but for the most part, he was just listening to all these complaints about the building, about the neighbors, about the noise, about this, about the water in the pool. Like, I mean, enough is enough, honestly. So, anyways, in those moments when a woman is like this, when she's absolutely unhappy, when she lives to complain, and you know what, it like, you can see those people, and those people, they're miserable. Why they're miserable? Because they always complain. And when I catch myself being in kind of like down state for maybe a couple hours, I know that I need to step out of it, because it's like a swamp. It will drag you down, and then you will it will be very hard to come out. So when a man is in such a relationship, usually he basically becomes like almost immune to it. So not immune, but he basically just dissociate himself from it. So he becomes more silent. Like that guy was sitting and listening, and he was just basically silent. He would ignore her. He would be more like not as enthusiastic to do anything for her. So if the flowers are never fresh, then why would he even give flowers? If the time that they spend together is never good, then why would he even spend time? So he would start distance himself little by little, and the woman will start thinking that, oh, maybe he has somebody else, maybe he's not loving her. But it's not like that. He is just basically protecting his aura, his energy space from this constant kind of beating from a woman that he likes. And that happened to me, and I had two men like this. Yeah, one was feminine. He really didn't care. I mean, he was just whatever. But he was avoiding me for sure. And the other one was masculine. Though at one point he was just basically like a blank face. I would say something, he wouldn't even listen, to the point. And it all started in the beginning. In the beginning, I was very happy. Everything was perfect. And then I started picking up. I had a pattern like this. So basically, I didn't believe that it could be as so good. So I would start picking up on little things, He didn't call me at the right time. He didn't pick me up. He sent me an Uber instead. This is bad. This is bad. So I started picking on little things little by little. And he wanted to change them. He did try to change them in the beginning, when it was just starting. But then it was never like we would spend maybe half an hour happy together, and then I would start again. Again, it was me. It was the issues was with me. I really had mm, I was not really as appreciative of what I had at that time. And I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about my whole life overall in general, even though I had amazing life, a career, and I was traveling. So everything was perfect. It just, for some reason, I just believed that it could be better. Also, my friends were probably influencing me. So I constantly was complaining, constantly. Anything he would do, I would not accept. I would complain about everything. Like, little by little, there was, in the end, he was feeling this and he was distancing. And then once he started distancing himself, I started complaining even more, because now he's distancing. I'm afraid to lose him, but we don't spend time. So I want to be good now, but we don't spend time together. And I want to be sweet, but he already almost ignores me. And after a little while, we separated, and then I kind of got myself together. I started doing gratitudes every single day. I was so constantly, focusing. I started opening my heart chakra. I was like really, really working on myself. We reconnected again in a few months, and everything was going good. Actually, it was perfect. But then something, like, I snapped again, and I started again picking up on little things that I didn't like, and I felt that I will fall back down. So I basically we just separated for good. But I don't know how a man feels. Obviously, I'm not a man, but I only can imagine how it is. So a woman who is constantly complaining, who is looking for problems all the time, and then she starts all this. Oh, I'm sure you're dating somebody. I'm sure you're with another woman. I'm sure you're this. I'm sure she become more and more happy with where she is, and she's pushing the man again, more like further and further. Feminine man in this case would start cheating. So usually, feminine man will start cheating. So he basically lives his with his unhappy wife and or girlfriend, and he has his whatever happiness on the side. A masculine man will not do that. He basically will leave him, and that would be it. He will distance himself, and at one point he will leave her. So don't be that woman. Don't be that woman, not only for man, for yourself. I remember myself at that time. It was terrible. It was such a miserable existence. There is so many things that that you should live. Usually, it happens also in women from my clients I see, who has closed heart chakra. So work on your heart chakra. I have videos. Do that. Who don't have pleasure, also work on that. If you want to be a feminine woman, you have to have open heart chakra, and you need to have a second chakra also open. So you need to feel love and pleasure all the time, with the man, without man, by yourself, when you're sleeping, when you're awake. You need to feel like this. You need to project this kind of good feelings into them, into the existence, and you will see how a man will not be able to stay away from you because of that. And you will see how you won't want to complain. You will start be less miserable. You will start liking things more. For the most part right now, I hardly ever even dislike anything. And if I don't like something, I fix it right away. So I'm not going to be sitting and then complaining about something for days. If there is something wrong in my life, I will fix it right away, or I will change the perception about it, and I will move on. It's a terrible feeling to nag and drag everybody down. Even even my friends, they don't complain no more because of me. First of all, because I wouldn't listen, and second, because they know how it's heavy. It shouldn't even be present for anybody. A feminine woman is not a woman who complains. They're just it, unless she's in dirty kind of femininity and dirty emotions. Now, a masculine woman would not complain because she's masculine. So it's usually somebody who's in dirty femininity, who just who is like a swamp, just drags everybody into these dirty waters, and then tries to hold them there when they are trying to get some kind of fresh air. So this is the woman that men will not stay too long in, will not marry. Even if they marry, they will try to escape. And I saw quite a few examples on this particular type of woman. Again, maybe because I had it in me. So usually we see what we have in ourselves. So, and as I said, it could have been in me. I am a woman dominantly energy of water, and water can get stagnant and can start smelling a little bit. So I could become a little bit like this if there are no changes, no dynamic in my life. But I know this, and obviously I work on that. And thanks God, it's been some time since I was complaining about something. All right, so that's now. So a woman who lives to complain is basically will push the man out. And sometimes when a man has no way out, he will start drinking, or he will start taking some kind of substances. So basically, he will self-eliminate himself. Just also, women who live, men who live with such women could have serious issues. Could have like cancers, like really serious health issues. So again, if you want your man to stay with you, become femininely positive, become empathetic, become focus on pleasure, on love, and project that. That's what your man is looking for. If your man definitely drinks and spends a lot of time with his friends, then maybe the maybe the problem is in you. Maybe you are too, maybe he's just avoiding you, escaping you. And I see that often. I mean, I'm in couple groups on Facebook, I see this all the time. My man doesn't spend time with me. I mean, why? Why? I mean, I do everything I can to avoid people now, but there are people who are not liked, whose friends are avoiding them, whose man is avoiding them. I mean, obviously, some kind of so much love on TikTok. Thank you. So yeah, so no, this is so basically a woman who lives to complain will not have a long-term relationship unless a man is basically he has to. So if they're married and they're in some kind of strict society where divorce is not possible, I mean, he will start escaping him. All right, let's move on. The next one is a woman who does not inspire her man. And it sounds very esoteric. Let me explain to you. You know, I don't like this stuff. But a woman who, and man can really be, these are mostly women who are masculine. So a man can stay with a woman like this for some time, but he will never really consider her as a long-term partner for him. So he might stay for years with her, but he will always know that at one point he will leave. Sounds terrible, but yet I saw this. So what are these women that are not inspiring to men? And again, I'm on the woman's side, but I know that this could be the issue, and I was a little bit like that. So these are women that are serious. They're very business-like, so they are very masculine. You know, they're very focused. They're focusing only on day to day. You know, so when they speak to a man, they're like, okay, so we're going for lunch today, and then we're doing this, and then we're doing this. You know, there is no play, there is no flirtation, there is only like a to-do list, constant to-do list, today, tomorrow, you know, like it's never. There's never play. There's never lightness. It's all like a heavy schedule that never ends. And usually, again, it's because they are themselves like this, because they schedule everything in their life. They enjoy this kind of routine, and they believe that everybody else should enjoy their routine. These women usually, what's my zodiac sign? My sun is in Scorpio, my rising is in Cancer, my moon is in Pisces. I'm not sure what you're interested in. All right, so usually these women, they don't have energy of air usually, no energy of water either. These women are heavy, you know, and I have a couple of friends like this. Once I went on vacation with one. My God, like it was not a vacation; it was a torture, a torturous vacation. Because yeah, you water too. um so it was such a torture. Why? Because first of all, there was like, it was really, you know, she got upset with me because I came to the airport half an hour later that I was supposed to. I mean, I'm a grown-up person, I'm paying myself. Am I really supposed to be treated like a little kid? You know, then we had to do this kind of adventure, and then this one. And I was so happy that she really organized everything, and you know, I was grateful. But I felt like there was no lightness in this vacation, you know. And at that time, I was drinking alcohol still. So I was at the like last day, so I just ditched her, and I basically had like drinks myself, and I was just happy to be somewhat a little drunk. I couldn't drink more because I get sick, but I was at that point I just wanted anything, just as long as I'm not feeling nothing. I'm not controlled. It was insane, honestly. And so the man will not. I mean, some men, especially feminine men, who are weak, they don't mind a woman like this. A woman who basically calculates everything. Who says, "Okay, so we're dating for 3 months, then we're getting engaged. You're going to buy me this ring. Then we're going to get married in, I don't know, next August, and this and that." And basically, he wouldn't mind if he's a weaker kind of man, a feminine man. He wouldn't mind somebody in control. Will he be happy? Not sure over there. But a masculine man will not tolerate that. A man wants to have a woman with whom he feels alive, inspired, with whom he comes and there is some kind of sparks. There is the playfulness, and I'm not saying that a woman's supposed to be an entertaining clown for a man, but a woman should be like an ocean, like an water that you want to kind of dive in instead of just basically um, instead of stones that you are careful not to fall on. So this is what it is, and I actually saw couples like this, and the women when they staying together, but usually a man like this in such a relationship will start looking for something, start. I knew a couple, and the guy actually he was avoiding this. They were married, they were married and they had kids. And when I spoke to him again, I'm always on the side of women, so I would. It was not like I was taking his side, but I told him, didn't you know she was like this? And he said, I knew, but I thought maybe something will change. She had a huge career, so I thought once she will be a stay-at-home mom, she will change. And they had a couple kids, but she didn't change. She became even more controlling. Everything became so whatever she was putting all that masculine energy in her career now was in her family. So everybody, the kids and him, everybody was basically just a little robot in her day-to-day operations. And so he found a job that he could travel and travel more, but the kids were basically the same. I don't want to quote, but the elder son, once he became a teenager, he became a drug addict. So he's good now, so I'm not going to. But what I want to say is that the kids even wanted to escape this kind of structure. It's the army like structure. So everybody wants to have happiness. Everybody wants to have lightness, especially when you come home. You want to be light. You want to kind of feel this welcoming environment, not another to-do list. You coming home. So a man will probably avoid women like this. At the beginning, he might try to kind of to keep up with her, to do what she wants, but at one point he will become a rebel in his own family with his own woman, and if she will not change, he will leave her. So again, keep your seriousness, keep your control, keep your kind of schedules to, I don't know, maybe to your creations, to your businesses, to something, but not for a man that you're with. A man expects inspiration from a woman, pleasure. A man wants to feel good. He's already very tense at what he's doing, at his work, he already, the expectations are already pressuring on him. When he comes to a woman, he wants to maybe relax, maybe something. So, but this will not do. And I told you that it was my situation a little bit, because when I was in my previous career, I was very, especially in the beginning, I wanted to impress everybody. So I was working a lot, working long kind of hours. So I wanted, when I'm with the man, I wanted everything to go a particular way. I was not relaxed. I was not feeling nothing. I was not feeling pleasure. And obviously, I couldn't even inspire a man to feel anything. Basically, like this, it was like this, okay, so I'm off at 7 p.m. Do you want to meet me in the city? I lived in New York at that time, so we can go for dinner. And then if the guy is late, I'm like, okay, I could have been doing something. It was this time, I'm still staying here and waiting. Okay, I understand the man shouldn't be late, but I should not be reacting like this. And it was really like everything was a schedule, and it was not good for me, honestly. I mean, I'm not that much into schedule stuff like that. But at that time it was, and the man basically, I was surprised why usually men love me so much, and at that point nobody wanted to hang out with me. Nobody wanted even to take me to dinner. That bad, I will tell you, because they felt, there's no nothing. I couldn't give nothing to man at that time. I was very masculine. I was very rigid. There was no pleasure, no love, no lightness, no inspiration, no calmness, nothing. It was all very kind of. I think I was even dating because I was looking for some kind of diversion. I was looking for somebody to make me light, who somebody who could make me feel a little, a little more feminine, I guess, at that time. But that happens, and usually women like this masculine, they don't change much, or they are very like Capricornian energy could be as well. And again, if you want to stay with the man, if you want to have a masculine man, then be a feminine woman, and a feminine woman is a soft woman, soft, accepting, in pleasure, for herself, not for a man, not for anybody else, for herself first of all. And then men will want to be there. They want to kind of to have an opportunity to stay in that environment as well. All right, and the last one, a man will never. So this is a controversial one, so let me explain you. Last time I was speaking to you how to keep a man masculine, and I said you need to have this kind of feeling in you always, that you are out of the door anytime. So you never fully depend on a man. You never fully commit, even if you are married. You know that you can leave at any time. Anything happens, you're out. Even if you have a whole bunch of kids, a whole bunch of pets, you still will be out. And this is a good kind of, it keeps you like somewhat independent, at least in your thoughts, within your energy and aura. You know that you don't depend on a man, so you can so you don't put that energetic pressure on him. If you leave and you're like, oh my god, if I will lose this guy, who's going to pay the mortgage, how I'm going to survive, you're putting a lot of pressure on him, because he has to perform. You believe that you wouldn't survive without him. But if you know that you have enough funds, that you can always live, that it's you don't put that pressure on him, and then you just connect to him as a woman to a man. You basically you are not pushing heavy on him. You're basically meeting halfway. He knows that you can leave anytime. He obviously tries to keep up, so you stay with him. So this is how it's supposed to be. I don't take my words back. This is always how it's supposed to be. But the last type of woman that a man will not choose to stay in a long-term relationship, to marry, is the woman who keeps him as an option. But let me explain. Not as an option that she can leave at any time. As an option, like for example, she's staying with this guy until she will meet somebody better. When I'm telling you to have one foot out of the door, that means that just means that you don't want to put pressure on the guy, but you do love the guy. You do want to develop with him. You do kind of you want to stay with him. It's just you don't want to depend on him. That's different. But when you keep in a man because, well, there is nobody around, might as well stay with this one. This is when a man will feel that he is not really the one. And since we socialize energetically, a man will feel it. He will. And I live in Miami. I have clients here in Miami. I have friends here in Miami. And obviously, the girls here are very ambitious. And look, a man up here very ambitious. I mean, this is a place like this. So I know quite a few people who are like, who constantly, they're social climbers. They want to get better and better and better. And I don't mind. I don't judge anybody. Obviously, like it's everybody's choice. But a man will feel when he is just a small step for your next kind of adventure, or when you really like him. You see, I have clients who are inspired to be gold diggers, who work for that, who are honest with men. And I think men appreciate when a woman is honestly, when she's just basically, listen, I love to spend time with you, but you're not the one. We can hang out together for a couple of years, but I know you're not the one. And I think a man will appreciate that. He will provide for her, he will give her anything, but at least he knows that he's basically, that's a temporary thing. He's not invested in her as much. Now, when a woman is basically plain, and I saw it quite a few, not that many, not that I didn't see it much in New York, but in Miami I see it often. When a woman is like agrees to stay with the guy, but she knows he's not the one, but she's kind of playing to staying with him, maybe for the status, or maybe for some kind of, or maybe for the money, or for security, or for some kind of convenience. And if it doesn't grow into anything, at one point it will fall apart. I saw it so many times when it fall apart. I saw it with my friends, even, when the girl is like, basically, okay, I should be with this guy. He's a good provider. He has money. He has his own house. I don't need to pay rent. And then she basically she agrees to be with him, but she doesn't like the guy. She's becoming miserable. She become like nothing makes you happy. The guy doesn't understand what to do to make her happy. I mean, obviously, at one point, they separate. I never saw a happy couple who started like this, unless something changes within them. So, for example, I know this couple. A guy is much older than the girl. So the woman is like maybe in her late 30s. The guy is in his 60s. I mean, I live in Miami, so that's a normal thing here. And basically, it started like this. He was just an option for her to kind of get back on her feet. And it started. He knew this. He basically told her, "I can help you out to establish." She has a business, and he's like, "I'm going to help you. You can, let's just kind of help each other for a little bit." It started like this, but then she started admiring him. I'm not sure, but the feeling started to grow, and she wanted to be with that man. I'm not sure. She At one point she even got pregnant. They have a kid now. So they it changed. You see, he was an option, she was an option, but at one point they grew together. So the feelings grew, and they became something more. But they were honest with each other. I mean, she basically told him that he's not the one. He told her, okay, that's fine. I agree to that. But if a man does not know that, and he is basically feeling that he is not, that a woman is not with him because of him, but because of something else, he will feel it, and he will, at one point, he will leave her. At one point, he will find somebody else. So you will tell me, well, Anastasia, what, we're not supposed to have any kind of expectation from it? No, you should always. I mean, you have standards, you should have expectations. Men are very draining when it comes to energy, so he must give you something. But choose a man that you like. I always say to my clients, to my friends, and obviously to myself, I mean, choose the guy. I mean, let him be rich, but you like him. Choose the guy who you like. So he is wealthy, but he also is a man to you. You see a man in him, not just a wallet, or not just a status or something like that. So it is important. As I could have married really very wealthy man in New York and here, but I didn't because of that. Because I'm an emotional person. I manage of water. I couldn't fake it for that long, and I don't believe that the man basically deserves to be like this an option. Again, there are a lot who are living like this options. I have acquaintances here who live basically. It's like they tell them, I'm going to stay with him for 3 years, and then he will buy me an apartment, and we will separate. I mean, this is an agreement. The agreement between themselves, that's fine. But if a man feels that he's not really um, a man enough for his woman, at one point he will leave. Doesn't mean that he wouldn't. He probably will be spoiling her. He will be giving her everything, but until it works for him, and then he will leave, or he will say. I I knew quite a few men like this. I worked in finances, so I had quite a few clients who were basically single, and who were dating, but they knew what they were doing. So they I since I'm on the ladies side, I always advise to choose a man who you like. So when you like a man, let him be maybe a little not as wealthy as you prefer him to be, but at least when you like him, at least you guys can, I wouldn't say grow together, but at least he will feel manly enough to improve for you and for himself as well. It's really genuine a man when he knows that he is just a stepping stone. Again, some men are um, very kind of like they almost want to have you. Like I had these neighbors. I mean, they were just it was just a couple. I mean, the guy, he was so short. So I'm 5'3". He was shorter than me. I think he was 4'11", but he had some money. So he bought himself this girl who was tall, blonde, and they hated each other. Like they did this. He was telling everybody I bought her. She was telling everybody that she's just waiting for for like for a good moment to live. And basically they hated each other. They were fighting all the time. They weren't like my close neighbors, but they were. So sometimes I would pass by the apartment, they're fighting again. What I want to say is that he just wanted everybody to be jealous that he has this beautiful blonde tall woman, but they looked almost hilarious. He was so small, kind of like not very tall. She was super tall. She obviously despised him. They never even held hands, but for him it was a boost to his ego. He liked his power over her. He liked that she couldn't leave him, and it was draining for her, draining for him. I'm not sure really. Then I left that apartment, so I don't know what happened to them, obviously. And we were not like friends like this for me to follow them or anything. But this is exactly, you see what will happen. He knew that she doesn't like him, but he was doing it for his own kind of I don't know, perverted reasons. So if you're doing something like that, I mean, do you? I have nothing against it, but for the most part, a man will not choose to stay long term with a woman unless he's had some kind of issues with his head. With If he is just a stepping stone for her, and a man will feel. Trust me. I still have this friend, and she was dating a guy to get to his friend. And he knew this. Like, he felt it. Like, she never even said it to me. But at one point, she basically said that they broke up. And I'm like, why? He seems like a nice guy. And she told me, she said, I think he knows that I prefer his friend. I'm like, you do? I was shocked, and apparently she did prefer his friend, and he knew that he was not the one, that he was only means to be closer to the other guy. So yeah, men, they do feel, they know when they're when they're wanted or when they're just convenient to be. So don't do that. Don't waste your time. Don't waste his time. I mean, he will buy you. He will buy you like I had this client. I mean, he had a big business in New York, still has. So he had like um, a few cars. They were leased on the business name, and two of them he was basically leasing for his ex-girlfriends. They didn't really like him much, but they left him for somebody. So I don't know. And he was not like the handsomest man, but he was powerful, and that gave him the satisfaction of power that he's, even though there was other men, he's providing this kind of security for them or something. I mean, I don't know. This is obviously the human nature is very very complex like this, but again, he didn't want to be with them. All right, that's it. If you have questions, do ask. But again, when I was little, I always thought, I grew up in a country. It was so I grew up in a country that was falling apart, and I was put in like a really strong morals. Like, I would say that you need to be, that don't date a man for money, that you need to be independent, that you need to be good, you shouldn't be slutty. You shouldn't be putting too much makeup, you should be decent, you should be mod, like all this crap. So when our country started falling apart, I was surprised that all these modest good girls, they were not, I was still very young, so it was not like I was choosing a husband or something, but I was a teenager. But I couldn't understand why all these good, modest, hardworking women were not chosen, but a woman that were not hardworking and serious and modest were chosen. Especially a lot of you would say, even women who are almost like, I mean, I wouldn't want to say, I don't know what I'm allowed to say in this, but the women who were almost prostitutes were chosen often. And I couldn't understand, like I couldn't. I'm like, it's not logical. I was putting in my mind that you have to be good, that you have to be decent. Why the decent women are not chosen. And only when I grew up and I started socializing with men, only then I understand that a woman who's good, convenient is not really a woman that a man wants. But this, and a lot of those women, good and convenient, they were this five. As I said, I was one of them a little bit as well. Okay, so let's just sum it up really fast. A man will never choose this type of woman, even if he will choose. So even if he's married, at one point he will leave or he will find a way out. Maybe that way out will not be good. So he might start drinking or he might start doing drugs. But if he could not really escape, like some cultures you can't really divorce or it's frowned upon or something, But he will look for it. He will look for a way out if his woman is one of this. So the first one is a woman who make a relationship a constant exam. Anything you do is like, okay, it's good but not good enough. It's like every your action, every your word is like on a scale. Is it good for a smile or it's not good for a smile? And you feel like a constant failing student, who never who's never really enough. It's like it's not. It's like your teenager who needs to prove himself to somebody. Masculine man will not tolerate it. Again, I'm talking about masculine man here. Feminine men might live and stay with women like this for a long, long time. They will drain women. The women will drain them. They will just be unhappy for quite some time. At one point, they will just be content, I guess. So, but the woman who makes a relationship an exam is wrong. It shouldn't be like this. And if a woman truly inspired by her man, it will never happen. That happens when there is really no spark. And the woman usually who is demanding to herself and to others. Then the second one is the woman who makes a man weak. Usually, how it is, it's like she acts as a mother to a child. It's like always doubting. She tells him, "Could you put the kettle on?" And then she goes and she checks whether he put the kettle on or not. Or if she's telling him, "Could you please go for a walk with the kid?" And then she's constantly watching to make sure that the kid is okay. Like he's a grown up man. I mean, I'm sure he's capable of watching his kid. So stuff like that. And a man, he feels it. He feels when he's treated as a kid. No man wants to be treated like this. A man wants to be a man. He's a man. A masculine man will not tolerate that at all. So you need to see strengths in those moments. You need to see strengths in everybody. I always tell you, that just don't. The third type of woman that a man will not choose to stay long with is a woman who constantly complains. Constantly, no matter what you do, no matter how much you change life, she's constantly complaining. Usually this happens when a woman is not happy with her life and she's trying to find somebody who she can just push the blame on, the responsibility on. And it's very burdenous for her, for everybody around her, and especially for men. A man looking for lightness, for optimism, and he comes home and there is like a bunch of complaints on and on and on. Actually, I knew a couple where the husband died from diabetes because his woman that woman was just crazy. I swear, I couldn't listen to her for more than 15 minutes. I don't know how he lived with her. And they have 5 kids with him. So the man was basically, because she was constantly complaining, he was eating a lot of bread, a lot of sugar, to substitute, I guess, the hormones of happiness until finally he just basically passed away from diabetes. And even when the doctors told him he needs to stop, he couldn't stop because he had this, I guess, a woman who was complaining. I didn't know their family too close, so it's not like I was present then, but I was acquainted with both of them, so I only can imagine. I couldn't tolerate. It's just a heavy energy. I couldn't tolerate for 15 minutes, and I'm a Reiki master. I only can imagine how the others, the whole family over there is very big because they eating sweets nonstop. All right, so a woman who complains, usually it's kind of, I'm as a woman who used to complain a lot. There was like a period of life in my time, I feel like 2-3 years. I mean, look, it's not good for you. It's not good for anybody around. If you want to have a strong masculine man in your life, fix it. Fix it. Start finding beauty and something to be grateful for. I mean, gratitudes do good. When I feel like I'm falling into this complaining kind of stuff, I start doing gratitudes. I have like little journals that I used to put gratitudes. I would reread them. I will start focusing on what is good right now. just not to get into that swamp. It's terrible, honestly. Um, so this is the woman that the man will not choose to be with this woman. I know quite a few masculine men, and I think this is the first thing that makes them get out very very fast. If the woman is complaining, they're so good with that. They don't listen for too long. All right, so the fourth type is the woman who is not inspiring to a man. This who is very serious, very like focusing on the reputation, day to day kind of business. What needs to be done constantly. It's like never ending list. Even when they go on vacation, it's like they need to do this, they need to do this, like all the time. So these women also, they're very non-inspiring, they're very dry. There's no pleasure for a woman, and that's why she's trying to substitute it with some kind of accomplishments. There's no pleasure for children in that house, and obviously not for a man. This is when a man can really start cheating. So because he will be looking for some kind of lightness. I mean, it might even get hobby. He might distance himself, and then the woman's like, I think he's not loving me no more. I mean, maybe he's just not loving the way you are. And the last one is woman who keeps a man as an option, as a stepping stone for something big. And again, you should always be ready to leave any kind of relationship, but you should be with the man while you are with him. Even if you will leave him, he should be a man to you, not just the kind of, okay, so not somebody who's paying your rent, unless you guys make some kind of agreement. But while you are with him, I mean, like admire him, When I'm with the man, I know that this could be a temporary thing. I know that at any moment, anything could happen, It's life. This is just, I'm not holding on to anybody. But while I'm with anybody, not just man, I'm enjoying that moment with that person. I'm enjoying whatever we're doing right now. Like when I'm with the man, I'm enjoying the man, not what he's giving to me. Yeah, they obviously give, we go out, we do the, they buy me presents, but it's not, I mean, this is all kind of like standards, it's given. But I'm also enjoying the man that I'm with. If I don't enjoy the man, I wouldn't even be with him for nothing, And I had man who's like, oh, I could be a wealthy husband for you, and then leave you a wealthy widow. I mean, a wealthy widow, like how many years? I mean, I couldn't even think about this. I have like a lump. I would have to basically to be a nurse for 20 years to get a little money. I mean, I would rather like win a lotto. It's like I don't know, but it's scary for me. Some people though, they go for it. They go for, because the guy who offered me that like a couple of years ago, he's married now to a girl who is even younger than me, and she went for this, I guess. Anyways, but a man, if it's not an agreement, a man will feel it. He will feel that he's just an option, and he will not want to be, especially a masculine man. Can you imagine a man who needs to be validated, who is driven by ego? Suddenly, he's just like a middleman, just an option for something bigger. I mean, he will be very hurt. So don't do that. Again, choose a wealthy man, but the man that you like. There are a lot of wealthy, handsome, young kind of man. You don't need to stay with somebody who you don't like if you don't want to. And you can have. It's not. We live in a different society right now. You don't need to be with the man until he's 60 for him to be rich. I mean, there are a lot of young kids who have a lot of money. So at any age, you can find somebody who is wealthy and who you like really actually as a man. All right, that's it. If there are no questions, we're going to go enjoy our Sunday. I hope I inspired you. I hope it was helpful. Please send it to everybody who needs this information. I will have this video on YouTube, so TikTok, if you want to rewatch it, if you want to send it to somebody. Again, I'm not against women, and I was a woman in this kind of in couple of these situations. I know what I'm talking about. I'm always for women. It's not like a woman could not live happy without a man. Man needs women more than women needs man, honestly. But if you are inspired to be in a long-term relationship, if you're inspired to be married, then maybe you shouldn't be one of these women. Maybe you need to maybe you can just look into yourself and adjust your life a little bit. Like I did. I was not happy when I was complaining, I mean, who would? It was a miserable existence. And I understand why men didn't want to be in my presence. I mean, it was logical. Who would want to be? I wanted to escape myself. So again, do please, if you have questions, ask. Again, I'm not against anybody. I'm just trying, I'm trying to advise and help. All right, next Sunday we're going to talk about things that you shouldn't be sharing with your man. Mm. Secrets. I hope you like. Also, I hope you watched my video on Thursday. I put in the video about the norm, about how to manifest something very fast. I didn't advertise it. Please do watch it if you want. I will send it to you. It's about closing the gap between you and something that you want. How to do this and how to do it. How to do it fast. So you wouldn't be forever and ever manifesting one thing, wanting one thing, and never getting it. I'm all about results. I'm spiritual, but I live in material world, so I'm all about results, and I do, and I hope you are as well. It's good to kind of sit and dream, but it's better when you dream and you get the results. It's much healthier. All right, that's it. Let me quickly scroll through TikTok. I don't think there are any questions. I have here my almost twin, Cancer, Sun, Pisces, Moon. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I think that's it. All right, that's it, everybody. I will see you next Sunday at 11. Enjoy your week. Again, today is full moon and lunar eclipse. Keep your emotions under control. It's in Pisces, so obviously we become a little, a little melodramatic, a little too emotional. Keep it under control. It's only one day. You will be fine after, and then there will be eclipse corridor. So for 2 weeks, observe yourself, observe what's happening in your life. It's kind of important time, and yeah, definitely. But it's going to get better. If you think that it's the end of the world, no, it's not. It's just full moon with lunar eclipse. You will be fine. All right, bye TikTok. Thank you for being here and supporting me. I do really appreciate you all. And by YouTube, thank you everybody. Please do send this video to anybody who needs to hear it, who would benefit from hearing it. It's I have a couple friends who I'm going to send it to, but do I'm sure women in your life, they will appreciate to hear this. As I said, it was hard for me to realize that my presence was so heavy that I wanted to be around me. But I had to have that wake up call. I mean, how else would I ever understand that? So again, watch it yourself, send it to others, and I will see you next Sunday at 11 a.m. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday.